Hi, I'm Mrs. Nunez, an instructional para here at Kilmer Elementary. I'm going to make a series of videos with multiplication tricks for different factors. Before we get started, I recommend that you go to my files and print the multiplication tricks template. This will allow you to make notes along with my videos. Let's get started with this factor. Here are some tricks I'd like to show you when multiplying by 12. The first trick would be to multiply by 11 and then count up. Let me show you a couple examples of that. So for instance, let's take the number 12 and multiply it by 4. If I don't know that, I can multiply by 11 first. 11 times 4 is 44. Then I just have to add another 4. That would get me 12 4s all together. 4 plus 4 is 8. Drop this 4 down to get me 48. 12 times 4 is 48. Let's do one more example. 12 times 8. Let's say I don't know 12 times 8. I might know 11 times 8 because I know my 11 trick would just mean double the factor, which is 88. 11 times 8 is 88, and now I only have to add one more 8 to that to get me 12 8s all together. 8 plus 8 is 16, carry my 1. 1 plus 8 is 9. 12 times 8 is 96. The next trick I like to show you, I call the half double trick. The half double trick can only be used on even numbers, and in this case, 12 is our even number. Let's do an example of 12 times 5. If I don't know 12 times 5, because I don't know my 12s, I could cut the 12 in half and make it a 6. This is the half part of my trick. 6 times 5 is 30. Now that I have that answer, I would double my answer. This is the double part of my trick. 30 plus 30 is 60. 12 times 5 equals 60. Let me do another example for you. 12 times 8. In this case, I could cut either the 12 in half because it is an even number, or I could cut the 8 in half because it is an even number. I'm going to go ahead and cut the 12 in half again. That becomes a 6. So 6 times 8 is 48. Now I would double that answer. 48 plus 48. 8 plus 8 is 16, carry my 1. 4 plus 4 is 8, plus 1 is 96. So back to my original problem, 12 times 8 is 96. There's another trick I'd like to show you when multiplying by 12. You'll take the other number, multiply it by 2, then carry the 1 if needed. Let me explain. Let's use the example of 12 times 8. I'm going to take the other number I'm multiplying by, which is 8. And I'm going to multiply that number by 2. So 8 times 2 equals 16. This digit of my answer, the second digit of that answer, is my final number when multiplying 12 times 8 together. Now in order to find my first digit, I'm going to take this number that I multiplied by and add a 1 to it because I have a 1 right here when I multiplied 8 times 2. So 8 plus this 1 equals 9. So 12 times 8 equals 96. This is a tricky tip, so let me go ahead and give you another example. Let's take the example 12 times 6. Now I take a look at the other number and I multiply it by 2. So 6 times 2, which is my other digit, is 12. I now know that this 12 is the second number in my answer. I'm going to take this number that I'm multiplying by in my original problem and add a 1 to it. 6 plus 1 is 7. So 12 times 6 equals 72. In essence, what I'm doing is I'm taking 12 times 6. If I put them on top of each other like this, I'm saying 6 times 2 is 12. I'm carrying my 1 and saying 6 times 1 is 6 plus 1 is 7. I'm just showing you another way of being able to do that process horizontally. I'm taking this number times 2 to get my second digit and adding a 1 to this number, which gets me a 7. Let's do one more trick. In this example, I'm going to do 12 times 4. I'm picking 4 because of the third part of our trick. It says only carry the 1 if needed. When multiplying by 12 times 4, I'm going to go ahead and start with this. I look at the other number and I multiply it by 2. Well, 4 times 2 equals 8. So this becomes my second digit in my answer, just like it did before in the other examples. But in this instance, notice when I take 4 times 2, I didn't have a tens place digit. It's because it's a 1-digit answer. So I don't have a 1 to carry. So I don't need it this time. So I'm just going to take my number here and write it in front. And that becomes the first digit in my answer. So 12 times 4 equals 48. I hope you found these tips helpful. I invite you to look at other videos as well as printing out the files that are on my page.